I wasn't ready, you know? And sometimes you can want something so bad that you're wanting that end thing, and you shoot for it and you get it and you realize you weren't ready, and you blow the opportunity and you look bad in front of everybody, so they don't call you the next time.
Right.
So I'm really glad that things worked out the way it did, that I was able to hold off and really be ready when it was time to go in and cut.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's such a challenging thing to be patient when you have something that you love doing so much.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to do that thing at a high level. We want to have those opportunities where we can make an impact with the talent that we have. But it can be really challenging to stay patient, to wait until you're ready for those, those moments. There's also some moments where we need to kind of jump in to be able to prove ourselves, and step up to the plate. Yeah. And that can be a really challenging balance to be able to know when you're ready, but also know to when maybe you're almost ready and you need that little bit of motivation or push, to be able to throw it into something, to be able to prove to yourself that you can, do it. Where did you start to retain the confidence to know that when you step in the room, you're there for a reason and you're going to be able to execute?
Think about the ego, the human ego. When you're young and I remember being, playing basketball and, shooting hoops in my backyard. I'm terrible, but, we had a goal, and I would be in my brain imagining that, there's a crowd and I finally make it and I win the championship. There's this whole thing that you think that you're better than you are, and you can come to town thinking that you're better than you are as far as a player. And there's that fine balance between you getting plugged in finally and realizing, oh, I'm not that good, I'm going to go home. Or you get plugged in enough situations and you have enough of an ego where you think, I'm good enough to work with this person, and you work up to it. Your ego kind of can either push you along in a healthy way, or it can put you in a spot that you're served before your time.
I think there's so much about the careers in this industry that have to do with like self-awareness,
right?
And awareness of others, around you. You know, you mentioned having those big ears to listen to the songs, and to what other players are doing, but also to the conversations that are happening in the room, to understand the way that the interactions are happening. Start to be a little mini psychologist, within the environments that we're in. And it's also really important for us to be able to look internally into ourselves to start to develop those instincts of knowing when something is a right move or when something is something that we may need to, to wait for.
Right.
And then to be able to just have the ego or the confidence to know that we're here for a reason. We have this thing that we're passionate about. We just need to stick with it, keep going after it until we can find the path that makes sense for us.
And as far as confidence, because you were asking, when did you feel like you had the confidence? I mean, years and years of doing sessions where you're getting double scale and the record people are there in the control room. They've got a lot of money on the line. The artist is there. They're shooting video or whatever, and all the players are in the hot seat. Mm-hmm. It's funny whether it was one of those or a demo session or whatever. For years and years, I would still walk in quietly in the back of my brain. I would be going, well, maybe this is the day where I show them that I'm actually not that good.